We are ready for you. Are you ready for us? You are knowing what you are wanting? Let's go.
Thank you. Ever since I was in the chair 2 days ago or whatever it was, I've been thinking that maybe it's time for a double dip. Because I had more questions buzzing in my head, and I sort of silently worked on them during the day yesterday without really focusing.
Do you think you thought them, or do you think you received them?
I think maybe I received them.
We think maybe so. Yeah.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
I woke up this morning at 6:03 or something like that, after going to bed quite late, and the questions were just buzzing. I said, well, I better get up and go write them down or I'm going to forget them. So I'm going to ask you some of them. They relate, pretty much. Is it always true?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Shall I finish the question?
If you feel it's necessary.
I don't feel it necessary for me, but maybe someone else may.
They don't care.
They don't care. That's fine. That's okay. Is it true?
Yes.
Okay. So Ben Franklin was right?
Yes.
Very good.
Tuned in like you.
He's what?
He was tuned in like you.
Tuned in like me. Maybe because I played his part of him in a grade school play with my buttoned shoes.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it true? Is it true that fatigue is always caused by resistance?
Yes.
Okay. It's going to be a short session. Is it true that resistance in Abe speak is similar to electrical resistance in that electrical resistance impedes the flow of electrical energy?
Identical. Identical.
Identical. Is it true that a lack of sleep can lead to overeating or binging on sweets?
It's true that a lack of sleep does not give you the advantage of pushing the reset button, and therefore you are more likely to introduce resistance, which causes you to feel the emptiness of allowing. So you therefore try to fill the void of emptiness with things like that.
Got it.
So sleep is not necessarily the important factor. It's the propensity to resistance that is sometimes encouraged. You see, the advantage of sleep, you don't need sleep to rest. You're resting while you're sitting in these chairs. But sleep is a distraction from focus, which gives you an opportunity to slow momentum. So since the momentum of who you really are is always strong, that momentum never ceases. In other words, we never cease knowing who you are and calling you toward it. But the momentum of any contradiction, the momentum of resistance, is what is softened during sleep. That is the advantage of sleep. Meditation works the same way. Appreciation works the same way. Having a really good time works the same way. Yeah.
Okay. On the same note, electrical resistance is measured in ohms, which I don't really understand.
No one does.
Is there a measurement for the degree of resistance to source?
Yes, and you feel it individually in your emotions. It's the relationship between you and you that is the only thing that matters, not measuring it against anything else. And really, electrical current is that way too. It's not being measured against anything else. Humans try to do it and don't have much success at it. But it's the relativity between the vibration of who you really are and what you are allowing in any point in time. So the measurement is known to you by your emotion. It's interesting though, because you would think that if there is something that really matters to you, that you are really resistant to, that you would feel really, really strong negative emotion. And it's true, you do. You can feel stronger negative emotion about the things that you really care about. But there is a range of emotions that is pretty much all that you can feel. In other words, Esther realized that the day that she saw something so terrible happening to someone else on television, and she could barely bear to think about it. And she said to us, Abraham, if I feel this way on the other side of the world, how must they feel right in the middle of it? And we said to Esther, they are not feeling as bad as you are about it. Because it was relativity. The thought that Esther was conjuring about what they were living was so far from who she really is or who she has become that the gap for her was much wider than the gap for them. You're sort of following? So that's why it really is an individual measurement. People are all the time wanting contraptions to measure it. Can we put this on your head and measure the velocity of something or other? And Esther says, no, I'm not wanting to be measured by your contraptions or by your standards. I have my own guidance within me. You all do, and it's enough.
Okay, thank you. This is related. Is it true that a short night's sleep supplemented by naps is adequate to maintain health?
It's true that no sleep is necessary.
Really? Okay.
If you could find yourself in a place of non-resistance, sleep would be something you would not be asking for. You sleep in order to allow the relaxing of the momentum of resistance. Do you feel right now the clarity of the unfolding of the questions that you wrote down?
Yes.
Yeah.
Even this next one. Jerry was the great questioner. Were his questions inspired by source?
Sometimes. And by life, which is source.
Is he still asking questions, or does he have all the answers now?
He's still asking questions. What's the fun in having all the answers?
True.
That smacks of endedness, and there is none of that. It's sort of like, oh, you get the basics down. You can learn mathematics, and then you can apply it to about anything and figure it out. Or you can learn different processes and then apply it to about anything and figure it out. But it's the application of who you are and what you know to the new that is the exhilaration of life. And that's where non-physical begins interfacing with all of you in the most poignant and delicious of ways. That's why we ask you the first question that we ask you. Do you think you were thinking these questions up, or do you think you were the receiver of them? What is thinking up anyway? Isn't thought a manifestation? And isn't it a manifestation of some degree of alignment or not?
Yes.
And can't you tell by the way the thought feels as it hatches, as it unfolds? Can't you feel the clarity and the power of it?
And how insistent it is.
Well, it's insistent. That's the way you interpret it, because in the absence of resistance, it keeps coming and you keep recognizing it. In greater resistance, you catch a fleeting glimpse of it, but it doesn't feel insistent to you because you're not steady enough, consistent enough in the vibrational frequency of it.
Okay. I'll hear that again on the tape.
Ooh, the question was so good.
Okay.
The question was so good.
I'll have to listen
Hear that
to
again too.
many
The
times.
steadiness of it, the insistence of it, you said. The insistence of it.
It wouldn't let me go. I had to.
Oh, we're never letting you go. Sometimes you just do. But when you feel like you're not going, that's because you're on the wavelength of it. And so there's a togetherness that is happening. That's what you want to call inspiration. It's what we want to call, finally, the completed circuit. You ask, we answered, you got it, the completed circuit.
That's
you
step
see.
4.
That's step 4. Step 4 is the consistency of it, the steadiness of it, the insistence of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was Jerry a man who prayed? Oh, this is leading into another question. Was he a channel of source?
Powerfully, but did not acknowledge it in that sense.
Did he ever pray the St. Francis prayer. Lord, make me a channel of your peace.
When you receive that and relate that to him, it's because he's wanting all of you to know that you are being heard. You are all being heard. It doesn't matter how you pray or how you ask. Most people pray from need, so they're not in a receptive mode, so they don't know they're being answered. But when you pray your prayers of appreciation, now you're tuned in. And in your prayer of appreciation, now you are in the receiving mode. You just can't get there from there. This is a powerful statement that we want to make to you. When we say you can't get there from there, now think about that. So let's say you're here without something that you want, and you want to get over there where whatever it is that you want, you think is. And we say you can't get there from there. Well, here's what we mean by it. This is an attraction-based universe. So rather than you thinking of you getting yourself over there where what you want is, instead, hear this, you prepare your vibrational atmosphere so that what's over there can come over here. It wants to come over here. You've asked it to come over here. It's flowing toward you. It's pointed over here where you are. But sometimes you have your shield up. So even though you're asking and it's coming, you don't receive it. Don't you like knowing that? It's not about going over there and getting what you want. It's staying over here, preparing the atmosphere so that what's over there that you want can come over here where you are. That is the quintessential definition of what the art of allowing really is. Understanding that you're already worthy. You've already asked for it. You've already co-created it. You are already the creator of it. It's coming to you. You just have to soften your shield and let it in. And that's what you were experiencing with this stream of thoughts. No resistance.
Half awake, half asleep. Would not let me go back to sleep. Just get up and write them down.
You were asleep enough that you weren't resistant, and you were awake enough that you could hear.
This is a little related. The electrical resistance causes heat and light. Source energy resistant causes pain, illness, and suffering.
Well, let's talk about it, because any resistance, so think about your circuit breakers.
I'm sorry?
Think about your circuit breakers and how if something is amiss, if there's too much heat, then the breaker trips and it stops. And you have a sort of similar thing going on. In other words, resistance in and of itself is not a bad thing. It's management of it that you are wanting. If you had not figured out how to introduce some resistance into whatever, you don't know what it is, the electrical current is that you are capturing, you would derive no benefit from its existence. And so a complete absence of resistance would give you no benefit from the current.
Like a lamp without a light bulb.
And same is true. The light bulb is the
resistance.
receiving mode in this analogy.
Isn't the filament inside the light bulb the resistance?
Yeah, but...
Yeah, okay. We don't need to go there. We got the idea. No, it's not the last question.
You're glad, aren't you?
If an A process causes resistance, should I stop doing the process?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a 17-page creative workshop that I can't get through anymore because it's just like work.
Well, anytime any of the processes feel like work to you, you're trying to overcome resistance. And usually what's happening is you're trying to use the process, you're efforting in it. You're efforting in it. You can feel the tone of the conversation on this entire voyage has been about, you've already done the work. That's why we talk so often and for so long about step 1, step 2, step 3. You do most of the creating, capturing of what you want in the step 1 resistance stage. Step 2 is not even your work to do. That's where source and law of attraction line up everything you want in a perfect unfolding order and flow it toward you over here where you are. Flow it over here where you are. Flow it over here where you are. Flow it over here where you are. So then your work is to find that way of preparing yourself vibrationally in order to allow what you already asked for, what you already created, what law of attraction already gathered, what source already focused toward you. All of the cooperative components are in place. The question is, are you a cooperative component? How you doing? How do you know if you're a cooperative component? By how you feel. If you feel great, you're a cooperative component. Your shields are down. You're over here. Everything that you want that's over there, wherever it is flowing to you. And isn't it fun as it unfolds? And would you want it all today? Certainly not. If it all came today, how would you like to eat all the meals on this ship the first day? Not so much fun. Isn't it nice that it's just a steady parade of delicious unfolding with you hungry again? Well, hardly. Esther felt hunger pains the other day and she thought she was dying. What is this? Oh yeah, it's hunger. It's only hunger.